Okay, welcome to our Intro to Essential Oils class. So glad that you could come today. We are going to tell lots of stories and give lots of information, so it's probably a great time to pull out a pen and paper or whatever you want to take notes on so that you can absorb all the information you want to absorb. My name is Allie Raskin. I'm super honored to be with you here today and that you've offered your time to us. My story, just briefly, is that I started using essential oils because I was on a health journey for one of my children that turned into a health journey for the four of my nuclear family, and then longer term, my extended family. And they really have joined, sorry, I got a message. They really have changed our life. Thank you, Susie. They really have changed our life in so many ways. We have been healthier than we've ever been as a family. My husband had all kinds of issues, many digestive, to one of the questions earlier, for most of his life. And we have all the tools now and lifestyle changes that have been super impactful for our lives. To get things out that were causing us illness and to put things in that cause healing, all that are natural. And so I have been using essential oils for, I think it's 7 years now, and telling others about oils for 6 years now after I had my time to play and learn and do all the things. So they really have changed our lives, and I'm super grateful. I get to work with people all over the world. I'm here in Dallas, Texas. Many of you guys are here on this call from Africa. So it's been such a blessing to be able to work with people all over the world. So Andy, I see that you just joined. Great timing. I want to talk, if your internet is stable, I would love to hand off to you to talk about the things that are best to take out of our lives, like I just aforementioned.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I was having Wi-Fi issues as we do in Joburg. So we don't need to live with toxins. We really don't. There are better ways and there are better options and so much safer for our health, for our families. So I'm just going to list some of the key toxins that you'll find mostly in your shampoos, your toothpastes, all your personal care products that you're finding on the retail shelves. So the first one that's really common is sodium lauryl sulfate. It can often be listed as SLS. This is the foaming agent. So we've been so accustomed to seeing foam as cleansing. And in actual fact, it's a toxin. It's a toxin that is really not healthy for us. It's the foaming agent in our shampoos, in our toothpastes, in our soaps, even in our dishwashing liquids. And you don't need it. It's really just what we're accustomed to, but there's so many better ways. It causes damage to our skin. It disrupts our hormones. It affects our immune health. So it's one of those that you really want to eliminate. Another one is called phthalates. Phthalates is found in adults and kids' shampoos, and it's actually a toxic chemical that's been banned in kids' toys. But amazingly, you'll still find it in cleaning products, and we'll use it in our home without even knowing, and this is an endocrine disruptor. Then another one is fragrance. That word fragrance is used to hide up to 300 toxic chemicals. So no company actually has to divulge their fragrance. It's proprietary, it's their recipe. And so behind fragrance listed on our labels, you can basically put whatever toxins you want. And there's a whole range there. One of them is formaldehyde. So formaldehyde is a preservative. I'm sure you've all heard about it. It's used to preserve cadavers, dead bodies, and it's a known carcinogen. So it's known to have links to causing cancer. Now, formaldehyde is actually found in scented candles. So we all love those beautiful candles and you love the smell, but what is used to preserve that is most often formaldehyde. And latest research has come out saying that burning candles, and of course the formaldehyde in the scent, is having an effect on our lungs, the same as secondhand smoke. So really not a good idea. Eliminating candles from your life is a good starting point. So formaldehyde is linked to cancer, it's linked to heart disease, reproductive issues, eye irritation, asthma, skin irritation, headaches, all of that. Then another, you might find them separately or together, Triclosan and or perk. These are found in antibacterial hand sanitizers and soaps. Yes, the sanitizers that we are using everywhere, every day, everywhere, have most likely got Triclosan and or perk. These have actually been recently banned from shelves, or in the last few years in the US. It's like applying a mild antibiotic onto your hands every time you're using it. And this is causing antibiotic resistance. The medical community have actually brought this to court with concerns over antibiotic resistance. And they actually won. So they have to remove all these toxins, but they've got, maybe 5 years to still finish up all their product and probably fight it. And so, but it's not good for us. It's killing the good and the bad bacteria in our system. So it completely affects our health and completely affects our immune system. And this is what's happening every time we are applying antibacterials for us and our kids. Really, really affecting our immune system. And then another one, less common or less well known, is called Tubutoxy Ethanol. This is found in window cleaners, kitchen cleaners, multi-purpose cleaners, and it doesn't have to be listed on the label. So you probably wouldn't see it or wouldn't know about it. And it's actually causing narcosis, pulmonary edema, liver, kidney damage. So these toxins, it's not the once-off use that is the problem. This is about cumulative use over years that causes a toxic buildup in our liver, and our body doesn't know what to do with these toxins. So this accumulation is called bioaccumulation, and this is basically coming down to effect to all these ailments and issues that we're finding in our lives from our environment and from all of these toxins that we're putting into our system. So there's got to be a better way. We've got to have an option to get rid of these, or as many as we can. And this really brings us to our essential oils and what we can do to make these changes in our lives. So I will hand you back to Ali.
Thank you, Andy. Sorry, you got the not so fun part. I get the really fun part. You get to talk about all the bad stuff, and I get to talk about all the good stuff. So what do we use to be beautiful and to be clean? And we use plants. They are amazing, and they've worked for thousands and thousands of years. We have used plants to be beautiful and to be clean and to be well. And so that's what we're going to talk about, is essential oils, which are a very potent form of a plant, distilled from the roots, the leaves, the stems of the plant in most cases, in some cases from the sap of a plant, and then in the case of citrus fruit, from the rind of the plant. Tons of scientific information out there about essential oils. If you come from a medical family and you're like, I don't know about this thing, I don't believe it, I highly encourage you to do your own research, because the naysayers are the biggest believers, because they do their research. And I love it when they come back and say, I didn't believe it, but I did my research and I tried it and it worked. So if you are someone who wants all the science, there's a great website called pubmed.gov. That's a website that all the pharmaceutical studies are linked to. And so if you get in there and type any chemical constituent of a plant, or any plant name and a healing property, or just a healing property in a plant, like there's all different ways you can search, but there are hundreds of thousands of peer-reviewed articles on the healing properties of plants, because our drugs still today are derived from plants. So one of the parts that's super important to understand is that part of patent law states that you cannot patent nature. You have to modify nature to get a patent on it. So in early days, that meant we'll take this tree and this shrub and this flower, we'll put it together in a capsule and we'll call it our drug that we'll patent. And that was all fine and well. But as technology progressed, especially the petrochemical industry, they realized they could study a plant, they could isolate a chemical constituent in that plant, and they could copy that chemical constituent in a synthetic version from a petrochemical. And they could call it their own, their drug that they made. And that's fine if you don't mind the pages and pages and pages of side effects that come with these drugs, because our body, again, doesn't know what to do with these synthetics, like Andy said. So they just accumulate in our body. That's why you have all these problems with liver and kidney all the time. You keep hearing people with liver and kidney problems, is because we are exposed to all these chemicals, whether it be in our surroundings that we clean with, in our home, or put on our skin, or the drugs that we take. So we want to go back to original plant medicine. Not saying that there's not a place for medicine, but I prefer to use it for diagnosis. Thank you very much. Now I know what's going on. Now, can I address it with the plant? And in almost every case, the answer is usually yes. There is an oil for that. So when we talk about essential oils, there's a huge range of quality out there. And so it's very important to know what you're using, because how we use our oils medicinally is for their ability to heal. And the vast majority of oils that are out there are distilled with nasty chemicals, the same things that your air conditioning unit runs on. And before they're even distilled, they're sprayed with chemical herbicides and pesticides, so that the farmers can get the most out of these plants. So I don't want to be using that as my medicine, right? Because the whole point is to avoid all these chemicals and to have the most pure essential oil that I can get. The regulation around essential oils is that there really are no regulations. So you can even have an organic essential oil that doesn't have one bit of organic plant matter in it. It can just have, a drop of an organic carrier oil. Anything that says pure or natural is just a marketing term. So you have to really know what you're looking for to understand the quality of what you're getting. So what we're going to talk about today is just Young Living. Young Living is one of the oldest essential oil companies modern day. It's been around for almost 30 years now, and they are still a family-owned business, so they can do things the right way because they are not beholden to any shareholders. And I say that specifically because I come from corporate life where that's all I had to be aware of all the time was shareholder wealth, making sure that my shareholders were pleased, right? Now, in this case, we, the users of Young Living, are the ones that need to be taken care of. And the company has always said, the founders always said, we make a product for a purpose, not for a profit. It's a very unique company. We're one of the only companies in the world that sells essential oils that actually owns our own farms and distilleries, and then has very special partnerships with family farmers who are trying to stay alive, and gives them ability to keep that family farm and have a consistent customer. Making sure, though, that they follow all the seed to seal guidelines, which is our program for making sure that the quality of the seed all the way till that oil goes into the bottle is what we want it to be. Is it the highest? So there's all these tests that every single batch of oil goes through. Is it the highest chemical constituents that we want? So if someone is using an oil for one thing, that they get the healing properties for that one chemical constituent. Is there anything inorganic that ever got on it? Are there heavy metals that got into the soil? Is it the plant that we thought it was? There are all these different tests that are run on every single batch of oil, so that we know that when we get this bottle of frankincense, who happens to be sitting on my desk because I was just using it on my dog. When this bottle of frankincense gets to me, that I know that if I'm using it on this wound that my dog has right now, it's going to work just as well on her wound as it does on my wrinkles and on calming me down, because it's a super powerful oil, and I want it to have all the properties that this oil possesses, not just one or two. So Young Living is very, very special. It's also filled with a community of people, of like-minded people that can help each other. And that is a huge part of Young Living, is just that we all help each other find answers, find solutions, and support each other. So with that, how do you use essential oils? I'm going to hand it over to Cece.
Sorry, thank you so much. Sorry, I touched the wrong button. So typically, oils are used in one of three ways, right? So the first way is aromatically, which is the use of your scent. The second way is to use it topically, and the third way, we can use it internally, but not for all oils. You have to be very careful and aware. So how do you use essential oils aromatically? The first way would be to use a diffuser. Young Living has the most amazing array of beautiful diffusers that use the medical grade plastic, because the oils are so potent. If it's not medical grade plastic, you stand a chance of the oil corroding the diffuser. So there's a disclaimer: please always use the Young Living diffusers with the essential oils. So with that, you can put your desired oil or a combination, however you choose, and you put some water in, and you switch it on, and voila, you've got a fantastic, it's relaxing, it's very effective to go into your system. The other way, if you're not at home, and for example, if you are feeling a little bit anxious or your sinuses are acting up, there are many different ways, as Ali said, many different uses for the different oils and how they help you. You can what you can do is you can create a scent tent. And with that, what you do, sorry, I am using my phone because my signal has been shocking. You take a drop or two of an essential oil into your palm, and you gently rub your palms together. You cup your hands together and you put it over your nose and you inhale deeply. And we call that a scent tent. It is very, very effective, and it's possibly the fastest way to get the desired results from the oil. With regard to using it topically, there's a disclaimer with all of the oils. Oils are, as we say, the purer the oil, the more potent it is. And because we all have different skin types, one must be very careful. So using a carrier oil with your essential oil that you want to use to dilute it is always advised. You can put it, so the head is always the best place because it's closest to your nose and it goes through into your skin as well. You can put it behind your head. You also have, if anybody, like, I mean, we can always share it from the, what's the word? Oh, my brain's gone. You have VitaFlex points, reflexology, that's the word. So you have VitaFlex points under your feet, and oils, when applied topically, absorb into your system within 6 minutes. So that's also quite effective. On your VitaFlex points under your feet, you can actually map out all the different parts of your body. So it's also a quick way to target a specific place. Also, with regard to applying it, you can, use on your wrists as well, which I quite like to do. I suffer from, when I am anxious, I clench my jaw. So oftentimes my go-to oil for that is Valor, which when we go through the kit, you'll hear about it. It's an unbelievable oil, and it relaxes me, it relaxes the muscles, and I'm less stressed and tense. Another way, the third way is with ingesting. What I like to do, especially when it's hot, is put a drop of lemon into my water, and it tastes great. You can use it to flavor your pastas or a salad. But again, please be careful with which oils you use. And we are a great community. We're always happy to help and advise. I know I've been using oils for about a year. I started primarily for health reasons and just to step away from chemicals and go a more holistic route. And I couldn't ask for a nicer group of people to communicate with and get guidance and help each other. And that's it.
Thanks, Sis. So I'm going to now discuss with you the starter kit, which is honestly the best way to get involved with oils. It's like your little personal toolbox. So it comes looking like this. It's slightly different in South Africa, the US and Europe, but pretty much comes in same box. It comes with 10 oils, if you can see that. And they also vary slightly by country, but pretty similar. I'll show you each of the oils. So basically, each oil has amazing qualities and purposes, and the ideal benefit of the whole starter kit is that you literally have the tools to manage your entire family's health. And the different oils cross, you know, all our needs with kids, adults, from skin issues, from pain, from anxiety, from sleep, wellness, boosting immunity. It's all there. It's all in your little kit. So this is a South African 10 oils, and we'll talk more about them now as people discuss how they use them in their own with their own personal stories. Just want to say, with every kit also comes a diffuser. So this is what comes in the South African kit. It's a dewdrop. And this little diffuser is amazing. So as Susie mentioned, this is medical grade plastic, so you're safe to use it with your citrus oils and with everything. And our little diffuser is really easy to use. You literally just fill with water to the red mark there and put on the tops and turn it on. The great thing is there are 11 different lights. So you pick your color light or neutral. There's even a flickering candle for getting rid of our candles in our home. We can have our diffuser going with a flickering candle. There's rainbow, which changes every 5 seconds. So you've got great options here. We really don't need candles. And great for kids as a night light. And then it's the steam comes out of the top, and great to inhale through the night, and actually turns off when the water is finished. So it'll never burn out. You don't need to wake up to turn it off. And there are different settings, whether you want it for 6 hours, 8 hours, or 10 hours. And yeah, so really handy little diffuser. I've got them in almost every bedroom, in every room in my house. And this comes with the starter kit. Okay, so now I'm going to hand over back to Susie back to Susie, who's going to talk to us about her personal experience with some of the oils.
Thanks, Anne. Okay, so I have chosen 2 oils to talk to you guys about. I'm going to tell you some quick stories. So Valor, hold on, sorry. I should have actually, I've become so obsessed with oils. I have my own little box, the Young Living box, and it's full of all my favorite oils that I use. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. I should have thought of this earlier, but I know where they all are anyway. That's how often I use them. So this is Valor. It's a beautiful, beautiful oil. It's a blend. And just like its name, it helps with your bravery, courage. It's very grounding. It's very soothing. It smells unbelievable. And it also comes out in a pretty cool purpley blue color. So purple is also the color of regalness, which I don't know if any of you knew. So my story with Valor is at the end of last year, I had offered a friend of mine who has his own afternoon drive on radio. It's quite a big radio show. And my initial offering of assistance was for stuff off air, but nothing to do with being on air. I have done TV work for most of my life, but radio is only when I work in PR and marketing. So when I'm promoting a product, I'm easy to be a guest on a radio show. But so it was Darren Scott, for those South Africans who know. And he was like, can you fill in for our news broadcaster she has to go on leave and I don't have anybody. And at that point, I'd already said, well, if you need anything, let me help. So I very quickly said, yes, okay, but very hesitantly. And then he turned around and said, it's for a week. And by the way, you have to script your own broadcasts. My heart was in my mouth. I've never done that before. And again, when you're doing news, you have to speak at a particular pace and a particular tone. And obviously you want your audience to get the right information as well. So it's real-time research and you've got to script it as you go along. So that put extra stress on me. And I came home, I was sweating, I was so nervous, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to screw this up. What do I do? And I thought about it and I was like, hold on, there's an oil for that. Let me diffuse some Valor. I put some under my feet, I put some on my wrists, and I was like, okay, calm down. You've got this, you can do it. And I sat there and I started on News 24, reading news articles out loud and doing your news in your news headlines for the day and practicing and so on and so forth. And when it came to the days, it was like maybe 2 days later for me to actually go on air, which was an out of studio broadcast during stage 3 load shedding, which was an absolute disaster because nothing I practiced was on time. I had the Valor in my pocket and I quickly put some on and I did a sentient and I did amazingly. So that one really helped. The other oil that I've got another really amazing story is right over here. Oh, I just used it. Yeah, which is frankincense. And that's a beautiful oil. And as most people know, frankincense is as old as time itself. Even when you go back to the biblical times, frankincense is mentioned. It smells amazing. It has so many unbelievable properties. The property I want to tell you about, because to this day, I really regret that I didn't record it. I was at home and I work from home and I'm lazy. I don't like sitting at a desk because I get bored. So oftentimes, like now, I'll sit on my couch and you'll see I've got my laptop here. And it gets a bit hectic because you're crouching over. Needless to say, my coffee table was a little bit wobbly and it was bugging me. So I got up and I went to go hunt for wood glue. In order to use it, I had to tip my coffee table over and glue it back in, and it's quite a heavy table. And when it got to the point of where I needed to put it back upright, my watch strap is the chain link one. It caught my skin between my wrist and the coffee table, and that's also where you have quite a few veins, and it pulled. And when I say it pulled, I think it might have almost popped like a vessel in my wrist. You could see it bubble and it went purple, almost black. And I went, wait, this is really bad. I don't know what to do. And it was really sore. I went into our little WhatsApp group and I researched, what can I do? And I saw with wounds and bruises, frankincense is a really good go-to, and it also helps with pain. So I took a few drops and put it on my wrist. And if I tell you, so I've got quite a few tattoos. The bruise, the mark was almost as dark as the tattoo on my wrist. And I was really worried like I damaged something very badly. And I put the oil on and I waited. And about 2 hours later, I put a little bit more. And I promise you now, I'm not lying to you, by the third time, it was almost just a faint bruise. And by 2 days later, it was gone. And I know no one will believe me, but that's what happened, just fact. So I was completely blown away. Those are my two stories. I absolutely love the essential oils. They've been life-changing for me. I was horribly sick for the past, I think it's now going into the 3rd year. So it was about a year in. And one of the other ladies, Lara, said to me, why don't you try the oils? And I was also very skeptical, like, I don't know. And I will never, ever change my decision. Best thing I ever did was to shift into using essential oils because it's been life-changing. So, thanks.
I think Leandy's up next. Thank you so much, Susie.
Hi, everybody. I've got a few favorite oils. Well, like I think all of them are my favorites. I struggled to pick one to use mostly. But the ones that I want to tell you about is Vela and Peppermint. They are permanently in my handbag. Like Susie just explained, Vela is absolutely amazing with helping you feel confident, and just it uplifts you. Well, it uplifts me immediately. And whenever my kids are not feeling okay, I just like kind of walk past them and give them a good go with it. And then Peppermint, I struggle with headaches and neck ache quite a bit. And peppermint helps so much for sore muscles. So I'm forever rubbing it on my neck. I've got a roller ball popped on it, and it works amazing. In the morning before gym, I also just put some peppermint on, and it makes me feel refreshed and have lots of energy for the gym. And then two other oils that work amazing as well is Thieves and Lemon. We call it, I can't remember, but when you're sick, you drink the Thieves and Lemon, 2 drops of Thieves, 3 drops of lemon with honey in hot water, and it soothes your throat so much, and it helps for a cough, and it works really well. I think that's all from me. I'm handing over to Natasha.
Good evening, everybody. So I contest with everyone on this call has said tonight. These oils have been amazing and also have helped my health. Eliminating toxins from my daily use has just completely changed my life and my family's life. So last year, Gracie and I, who's my 4-year-old toddler, used to be in the doctor's room every 2 months. It was her, then me, and we were swapping little colds every single month. So one of my favorite oils is what you call Thieves. So Thieves is like a warm, spicy aroma, and it's immune supporting powerhouse. Okay, so this has it's such a dynamic oil. You can use it for cleaning. So there's actually a Thieves household cleaning range, but you can also make your own household cleaner and add some of the Thieves and the lemon, which completely disinfects everything. And the smell is absolutely amazing because it's got clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary in it. So not only used for cleaning, I use it for my daughter when she went back to school, and I was a bit nervous about her going back to school.
Natasha, you just hit mute. Come back. Come back. We just heard nervous about going back to school.
Oh, okay. Thanks. So then I'd make a roller with the Thieves, and I'd roll it up and down her spine, put it into her diffuser at nighttime, and touch wood, neither of us have been sick, thank goodness. I know that there have been actually some really great stories with some of the ladies in our team that have actually used COVID to, I suppose, help them heal themselves. I mean, Thieves help them heal themselves from COVID, which is absolutely amazing. So this guy is really a powerhouse. Also, if you've got like any wounds or anything that you want to disinfect, I'm going to try and find another one because you ladies have stolen my favorites, which is frankincense. So I will go with actually what I used tonight, which is citronella. The mozzies are absolutely crazy and very thirsty these nights, and they love toddlers' little sweet blood and skin. So I've been using citronella, and Gracie normally gets chowed, and the citronella is so soft and it smells so beautiful, and it's so much less harmful than putting tabard on a young little child's skin. So I use the citronella every single night in a diffuser, and I also put a few drops in some carrier oil and rub it all over her body, and she hasn't had one mozzie bite this summer yet, which is great. So I'm not sure who I'm going to hand over to.
Andy's up next. Thank you so much, Natasha.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you. Thanks, guys. Those stories, I always love hearing everyone's stories. So I'm going to talk to you about ways to learn and all the support. So once you buy your starter kit and you now want to get involved, it's very overwhelming. And you're not quite sure how you're going to remember all this and how you're going to know what to do. And we've got such fabulous support. So we've got WhatsApp groups, which are amazing. And you just get added to a WhatsApp group, to one of the teams, wherever you enroll. And there is a forum of hundreds of ladies and hundreds of people, I should say. It's mostly ladies, but there are men as well. And you can just ask any of your questions on there and someone will always be willing to answer. And there's always great recipes being shared. And so the WhatsApp groups are a huge support. Then there's also Facebook groups that a lot of them are private groups and also serve the same purpose. One of your teams would add you to that and will serve the same purpose as the WhatsApp groups, where they'll share recipes, they'll share stories, they'll answer questions. So huge learning coming out of all of those groups. Then we also have a Pocket on the Go app, which is a great handy little app that you actually, it's a paid app, and then you purchase it and download it. And that app has practically every single oil. You can check what the oil's used for, or it has an option to search by personal illnesses, ailments, whatever you might need. You type that into the app and it will pop up what the suggested oils are. And that really covers sort of 80 to 90% of what we need. So that's another great support. Then these Zoom classes have been an enormous support for me and my team and a huge learning. So these are happening every week, variety of different topics, and there's so much to learn with so many ladies sharing their stories, sharing how they and their families are using oils. And yeah, there's a huge amount of learning in all these calls. And then on top of it, there just is some nice info as well, just to get familiar with the website. I found that people tend to neglect that side of it, but there really is a lot of great information in member resources. So once you log on, it is an online business, and so you just log on and you can find a huge amount of info on the website as well. Yeah, so I think that covers all our support. And I think I'm handing you over to Ali now.
Thank you so much, Andy. Okay, so let's talk about different ways to save money, because I'm a girl who likes to save money. I think most of us are. So the best way to get started with Young Living, if you haven't gotten started yet, is to choose one of the starter kit options for a couple of reasons. The first is that all the premium starter kits are drastically discounted. So you're going to get a significant amount more product for way less money when you buy one of the premium starter kits. There are some other starter kits too that are options depending on your country. So a lot of people I think are here from South Africa. There are some other options, but always the best deal is to get a premium starter kit. And there are a few options with that. So that's one. When you buy a starter kit, not only are you getting a discount on the kit, but then you become officially a member with Young Living. What that means is that you have access to 24% off of the products going forward, which is awesome. So it's just the wholesale membership pricing is what you get when you buy a kit. The second way to save money is our loyalty program, which is completely optional, but once you've joined it, you'll see that it becomes a necessity in your life. Because if you want to buy all the things on a budget, it's a great way to do that. So if you're like, I really want to replace things in my home, it's a great way to kind of spread out your spending. So the requirement for Essential Rewards is that you spend 50 product value a month. So depending on your currency, in the US, it's dollar for product value. And if in Africa, it's a little bit different, obviously, because everyone has a different currency. So when you are on Essential Rewards, you get a percentage back of everything you buy. The first 3 months, you get 10% back. After 3 months, it jumps to 20% back. And after 2 years, it jumps to 25% back of everything you buy that sits in a bucket that works like Young Living cash moolah, which is awesome. You can go on a spending spree when you choose. You also get free oils at months 3, 6, 9, and 12 every year. Every year you get that 12-month loyalty oil as well, which is beautiful. And all kinds of special bonuses each month for different spending levels, which every month you'll see in your groups and your WhatsApp chats that there's different promos every month that you can earn just for buying the things that you would buy normally. So Essential Rewards is a huge favorite with everyone because it's just a great way to really experience the lifestyle and buy things over time and save money. And then the last way is, again, totally optional, but if you're a woman, which I think most of the names I see here are almost all women, is that when we find something that works for us, we tend to like people and we tend to tell people when something works because that's just how women are. We have a great hair jar, we tell our friend. We go to a great restaurant, we tell our friends. And I promise you, if you use these oils, you will become obsessed with them because they are so powerful and amazing and they just frankly make you feel good. So when you tell your friends about them, you'll have a member number and Young Living will send you a thank you check for being the one to refer your friend, which is how I accidentally got into this as my career, is just tell my friends. And now I get to work from home full time, taking care of my kids who walk into my office while I'm on calls. Sorry about that. But it's really kind of amazing that there is a business opportunity side to just helping people authentically. So that's all the ways to save money. I really encourage you to reach out to the person who sent you here if you haven't gotten started yet. They will handhold you. They will plug you into all of the resources. So get back with the person who sent you and make sure that you ask them the best way to get started for you based on what you need for your body and for your family. And please plug into our resources. So we have another class coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow's class is on pain, which is a very interesting subject. We're going to be talking about all different kinds of pains and all different ways to remedy them naturally. Same time, same link. So hopefully you join us tomorrow. And with that,